Hello and welcome. This will be a reading for Aries for November 2023. Welcome to the table, Aries. I have pre-shuffled the cards, but I will shuffle them again for you. I'll be doing a 10-card reading with 5 cards along the top row and 5 cards along the bottom row. I'll be talking about those cards as they come out, and then I'll be overlaying them with a second deck of cards. The cards have been well shuffled, but I like to do it for you. I also have an oracle deck on the table. Whoops, there we go. And I'll be drawing an oracle card for you at the end of the reading. The flowers are from my garden and the crystals have been in their salt bath. I do hope you enjoy them. Okay, draw that. Let's begin this reading. These cards are quite heavy and a little bit awkward. Okay, we've got the World in reverse. The Mentor. Okay, it's an unusual card. I don't know whether that's the Hierophant. It may be. We'll have a little bit of a look. The Page of Wands and the Moon and the Ten of Coins. We've got the Seven of Swords in reverse, the Two of Coins in reverse, Nine of Wands in reverse, Six of Swords in reverse, and the Empress in the upright position. Beautiful card to finish with. The Empress is always wonderful. And what have we got on the bottom of the deck? We've got the Ten of Wands in reverse. Okay, so let's start with this World card. So this World card is the completion of a cycle. It's in reverse, but it means perhaps that your completion is almost at an end, your cycle is almost at an end, and you may not be quite there yet, but definitely saying that you've reached a point of success and triumph. This is a very, very positive card. But in the reverse aspect, I'd imagine it's more about a delay, so the end of a cycle. So there may be just one little thing that needs to be closed off in your cycle. There may be something you need to let go of before this cycle is totally completed. So it's quite a successful energy. The World means that you're going to be starting a rebirth, a sort of a fresh start, becoming perhaps a stronger version of yourself. So this is, as we go through our experiences and we learn, we have to sometimes tie things off and say goodbye to them. It's not always easy to let go of the last little bits before we move on. And that's a little bit the same as sort of when you're moving house. You have to say goodbye to your neighbours, you have to pack, you have to change your postal address, you have to cut off your supplies. You need to notify everyone where you're going. You need to put in new insurance and all of those sorts of things. So, you know, you may just have some last little things that you need to tie off before you move into your new cycle. Now, this is, in this deck, it's called the Mentor. And it's more like the Hierophant, I think, because it's talking about faith, being a guide, religious beliefs, conformity, rituals, and ceremonies. So this is telling me that there's something important or that you need to look at about your rituals and your ceremonies and your religious beliefs. I guess this is your traditions and the things that are important to you on a spiritual level, the things that make you feel connected with the cosmos and that bring you comfort at times of stress or sorrow or anxiety, where you can find some repose and comfort when you go into this area. So I think this is sort of telling me here, this is more about your spiritual life. So there's a need for you, Aries, I guess, to keep connected with your spiritual life and to keep connected with the rituals and prayers and the ceremonies that you perform within your own set of beliefs and circumstances. Now we've got the Page of Wands. This is somebody who's young and enthusiastic, somebody stepping out into the world, somebody being brave, bold and confident. So this is like a young teenager stepping out saying, I can do this, and not being frightened of the consequences. And this can be like a young entrepreneur stepping out saying, I'm going to create a new tech company, I'm going to create some apps, I will do it this way, I've had experience through school and college, I'm ready to go, off we go, and has no doubts. He's very excited, very creative, very inventive, and full of this confidence and exuberance. So it's more about confidence and exuberance than anything else. So there's this wonderful sense of being able to tackle anything because you're so excited about it that you have no doubts anymore. So, and that's also being very free-spirited. Here we've got the moon in reverse. So the moon in reverse is telling me that there's something that either you don't want to look at or that's something that's hidden from you. There could be some sort of a mystery surrounding you. You may be waiting to close off this world cycle, and there's something that's being slow to come forward so that you can close it off. Or somebody may even be with, no, I wouldn't say deliberately, but there may be just a slowness, or I won't even use the word negligent. Sometimes it's just where things are not being released, allowed to be released, to come forward to you. So something is sort of being held back a little bit from you. Don't become fearful about whatever's being held back. Don't be fearful about the things you can't see. This is sort of an illusion card, so we can get ourselves into a state of fear and worry when something is not going at the speed we expect it to go, or to come in the way we expect it to go. Then we sometimes become a bit anxious that maybe someone is controlling the circumstances to our detriment, but that's not always the case. Sometimes it's just things need to fall into place. Something is not aligned. So something is not aligned, something hasn't been revealed, something's just being a little bit hidden from you, and is just perhaps waiting for the time for things to move forward for you. Sort of, it's allowing a few days to pass sometimes makes a difference. Even waiting for a moon cycle to shift so that something will come towards you. Sometimes it's just to do with the phases of the moon and the way that the earth is turning, waiting for your circumstances to be more right. Now we've got the 10 of coins, so this is talking about your home, your security, whether something is troubled here in your home life, the 10 of coins, whether there's a little bit of insecurity, maybe you've had to turn in an investment you were hoping not to turn in, and perhaps you were putting that away for your old age, maybe your superannuation, maybe you've had to dip into your superannuation, or something that you were putting off for your long term. Maybe your sense of affluence and well-being has been affected by the downturns in the economies on a global scale, or perhaps you are affected by inflation, perhaps you're suffering mortgage stress. So something is causing a little bit of instability and a downturn in your family or your home region. That's something that perhaps you've put aside for the long term, you know, your savings or your, as I said, your superannuation or your college fund, something like that. You may have to dip into that for some reason, and that's perhaps putting you in a uncomfortable position because you'd hoped that this could be left for a better time. But sometimes we're forced to do things like that just because our circumstances dictate that. Now we've got the 7 of Swords here. The 7 of Swords is about trickery and betrayal and scams. Be careful, it's in the reverse aspect, so be careful that there's no trickery and scams and betrayal. This can also be within yourself, that you are being, how can I say that? It's under the world. So maybe this is part of the not letting go of something. Maybe there's something you don't want. And again, I had that under the moon as well. Maybe there was something you don't want to look at, or some legal matter that needs to be closed off. Something that won't release you at the moment because it's either something that you've got in your mind that you can't let go of, or there's a situation that needs to be tied off and cut loose. And it's more the sense of being cut loose in this case. So something you need to let go of. Now we've got the 2 of coins, so in a state of imbalance, trying to find that balance, and it looks like it's in the upside down position, so I'll show it to you that way. As you can see, in that case, it's almost like, woo, you know, your hands are sort of getting the wobbles and you're trying to find your balance. feeling like your world has been perhaps turned upside down a little bit. That could be the case. And even your finances may be turned upside down. You may be feeling like no matter how hard you're pedaling that bike to stay in the upright position, no matter how hard you're working to try and keep your finances ahead of your commitments, you may be struggling with that. So it's got to do with money, cash flow, worries and stress, choices that you're making as well. It could be about a choice that you have made and perhaps you feeling that it's the wrong choice, but sometimes once you've made that choice, you just need to go with it and try and juggle your way through the circumstances. So, or a choice could be forced upon you that you're not very comfortable with as well. Now we've got the Nine of Wands. I guess it's not a choice if it's been forced upon you. I guess maybe somebody has, it's possible that there's a decision being made around you that has put you out of balance. That could be the case as well. Now, here is the Nine of Wands. So the Nine of Wands is that sense of being exhausted after having worked a very long time on a particular project. And you get that way, you think, it's like when you're, say, constructing a new fence around a property. And you have done the three sides of the fence and you've got one side to go, and you're like, I am so sick of driving these piles into the ground. I'm sick of stretching the wire. I've got calluses on my hands. I don't want to do this anymore, but you know it's essential, so you just need to finish it off. So this is a situation of, it's in the reverse aspect, so I'm getting the feeling of you don't want to finish this off because it's under the Page of Wands. I feel that you have something new in mind and you're very keen to get started on this new project. And this old project that you've already expended a lot of energy on, I think you're becoming impatient with it. And I'm not too sure that you want to finish it off or that you will finish it off. I think if you do decide you're going to finish it off, you're really going to dig deep to find some determination and some courage to finish that whole project off because you're very excited about something new. Now we've got the Six of Swords moving on to better times. Again, it's in the reverse aspect and it's under the moon. So I think these are all connected. The moon, the world, the Seven of Swords and the Six of Swords, I think they're all connected somehow. I think you want to move on to better times. I think you're ready to move on to better times. You are waiting for that healing to happen so that you can let go of something here. This is going to be mental stability as well. So this is a transition. So you're going through this period of transition into a new cycle. And these cards here are showing me that something needs to be let go of or something hasn't fallen into place. But because it's swords, it seems more like a mental sort of a thing that you need to let go of something, or there's some legal matter that you need to tie off. And as I said, there can be all sorts of little intricate things that you need to tie off before you move into the next cycle. But you will be moving into better times. You will be moving into this new world. And that will be much more positive, but there's just some tangles here holding you back. Now, we've got this Empress energy at the end. This is lovely, abundant, fertile, creative. This can be pregnancy as well. And because it's under this Ten of Coins with this Home card, it could be very much pregnancy, and the pregnancy perhaps could be throwing a spanner into the works with your finances and your ability to pay off if you've got loans and mortgages, your ability to pay rent. Perhaps you are aware that you may be having a reduced income. This is about abundance as well though. So abundance, I guess, if you have the abundance on a creative level where you are birthing a child, it can impact your finances. But then you can have abundance here on a physical level with, say, your finances. But it can also be a state of looking at how you look at things. Sometimes we get so tied up with looking at money that we don't realise how much we have. You might have a happy, healthy family. You may have sufficient to meet your your basic needs, but you may not have enough for, say, an extravagant holiday or a new car. But actually then you need to reflect on the abundance that you do have, even though there are perhaps things that you desire but not necessarily need that are not available to you at the moment. So it can be any one of those things, but I guess this is talking about abundance. So it can, as I can say, it can be finding that you're pregnant. It can also be just a state, a mental state of being aware of the abundance around you, or just being very, very creative. And that could then tie in with this Page of Wands, this young child energy or this young adolescent energy, with this highly creative, highly full of vitality and enthusiasm. Now you've got this Ten of Wands in reverse. So Ten of Wands is a little bit of a struggle, but it's a 10, so letting go of your burdens, not looking at them so much, letting go of stress, responsibilities, being weighed down, needing to let that go. And you may just not be able to do that at the moment. It feels like perhaps you're stuck for some reason, because there's a lot of sort of stuck energy here. So something's holding you back, and perhaps you need to look at your mental processes and how you're looking at things. Perhaps you have fears and worries, and they could be holding you back from looking at life with a more positive aspect. Let's see if we can clarify this reading. I've got these lovely little everyday cards. I'll do those. I think they're quite nice. I think we'll have a little bit of a look at these, and we'll use these for the reading. Just give them another shuffle. I've already shuffled them many times, but it is nice to have them done. That way you can be sure that they're full of clean energy for your reading. Okay. Right, let's split the deck and we'll start. Okay. Oh, we're doing the sticky business. Okay. Here we go. Ten of Pentacles. See, now you've got the Ten of Pentacles here. This is in a much more positive light. So that will be once you get into your new world. So I think this represents part of your old world that you still haven't let go of yet. So I think you're coming into this new world, but I think there's still things you need to close off. So we have got the Two of Pentacles in the upright position. Here we've got it in the reverse. Here we've got it in the more positive. Judgment in reverse. Queen of Pentacles in the upright position. The Hermit in reverse. Six of Pentacles in reverse. Knight of Swords in reverse. Page of Wands in reverse, directly underneath the Page of Wands. That's telling me very much that you're much more keen on focusing what new project you've got coming in rather than the old one you need to finish off. So that's quite. Five of Cups in reverse. Three of Wands in reverse. And that's the Empress is a number 3 and this is a number 3. So this is this card of expansion and moving outwards. Let's have a look what's on the bottom of the deck. Okay, Three of Swords. So Three of Swords may be telling me that I'm going to talk about this one straight away, because you've got this Six of Swords and the Seven of Swords here, which I said was perhaps a more mental process, and the Three of Swords is talking about some sort of pain. So something that you haven't yet been able to release this. It's in the reverse aspect, so it's telling me that you haven't quite been able to release this pain, something that's hurt you, and I think you're dwelling on it a little bit, maybe a little bit too long, and perhaps you need to be more determined perhaps to let it go, because it's not going to do you any favours. If you look at it again, it'll just cause the hurt all over again. It just causes more tears and more worries and more upset, and you can't move on into new energies if you're still hanging on to past hurts or past pain. So Aries, if you can, make a concerted effort to let that go, because you've got here this Seven of Swords and the Six of Swords. So the Six of Swords wanting to move into better times, and this Seven of Swords is talking about deception and treachery and lies. So perhaps someone has lied to you and been a bit deceptive towards you. Perhaps they've cheated on you, but somehow you need to let this go, because it's not much good hanging on to it. It won't do you any favours, and actually the person who suffers most is you usually. But now we're talking about this second layer. So before you move into this new world, Here we've got this Ten of Pentacles, so branching out. There's this family tree, this happiness, money coming in, and a sense of security. So this is quite a beneficial card in terms of finances and security, and where it looked a little bit threatened here at the end, perhaps you thought you had to cash in a sort of a college fund or some money that you were saving for the future, or superannuation. Perhaps you don't, and you might be able to juggle your way through without having to do that. Here this is the Two of Pentacles, and here it's telling me that you're still juggling, but you're managing better to find your balance and to find a way of keeping that stability. And that could be relating to your belief system as well. So believing in the abundance of things, believing that the money will come to you if you maintain that positive energy and the positive thought and the positive outlook. So that can be part of this connection here to your spiritual life. And that could be also that you are struggling with your spiritual life as a consequence of difficult financial times. So it could be either one of those things. Now we've got Judgment here. So now it's starting to tell me that there's something, again, I feel that you don't want to look at, because this is an awakening. This is a call to you to look at your responsibility in how life has panned out for you recently, and you might be sort of saying, well, why is this happening to me? But none of us are spared from the whys. Things happen to all of us. We need to find a way of working through that. This is calling you for your second chance. This is telling me your world again. This is part of this judgment and part of the karma. So letting go of any past hurt and pain, you need to forgive. And you need to forgive yourself as well. And that's the difficult part to do. That's the bit I always have trouble with. I can forgive someone else, but I can't always forgive myself for the role I played in it. So the very fact that you've got these two here, this is talking about forgiving yourself for the role you've played in the circumstances that you find yourself in. But it's telling you there's a second chance. You need to release yourself from this. This is sort of being held still back before you're being reborn. As you can see, you're coming out of this coffin. So being reborn, so that's, you need to let go of this, whatever this is. So this is quite difficult sometimes, particularly if it's something that really caused you some damage. This sort of Seven of Swords card can give you an enormous amount of pain and hurt. But again, we need to let it go. Eventually, we need to let it go. We can't let it dictate the rest of our lives. Now, we've got on top of the moon. So this is your independence. This is something you've worked hard for. So the Queen of Pentacles likes beauty. She likes lovely things around her. She keeps herself well. She's dignified. She's well respected. She works hard. It's on top of the moon. So I guess there's that sense of continue to focus on what you're doing in the world. Work hard at it, maintain your independence, maintain your diligence at it, don't give up, because it's on top of the moon here. So the moon is that sense of losing your balance underneath. It becomes unstable. You become, it's like walking on mud or walking on very watery ground. You feel like your footing is not as sure as it normally would be. But this Queen of Pentacles is independent, strong, focused. She can have the beautiful things she wants. She just needs to maintain her focus. She's disciplined as well. So maintaining the discipline of what you're doing. Don't lose your cool. Just keep going. Now we've got the Hermit here in reverse. So it's on top of this Ten of Coins. So the Hermit is going within, looking at where the light is. So this is you can see there's the fire burning there. He's got the light in his lantern. Perhaps you need to put your focus back into your home and to your family life and the things that you value. I feel that this is a challenge more to the things that you value and consider what's important for you. So I think this is a big call. I think this is what judgment is here for. I think judgment is asking you to reflect on what's important, how important is your home and your family to you, and what value do you place on that. So that's part of what this is here, I think. Now we've got the Six of Pentacles. So Six of Pentacles equal giving and sharing. So not being an overgiver, it's in the reverse position. So this is perhaps a sense of giving too much, and that could be supporting children who are well past the age of needing your support, being overly generous, doing everything for someone and receiving nothing in return, where you do all the housework and somebody just sits there and says, you know, where's my cup of coffee? No, you need to also be on the receiving end of some of the giving, otherwise it will put you out of balance and it will make you cranky. It will just sort of bring up this sense of being used and abused. So there's this sense of the Ten of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles in reverse, and it's on top of the Seven of Swords. So I do feel that there's this sense of betrayal, perhaps that you're doing all the giving or you're doing all the hard work. Perhaps you're the one earning all the money, and perhaps that can be part of this independent Queen here of Pentacles. Perhaps you're the only one doing all the hard work. You're very independent, and perhaps you're doing far too much giving and being maybe a little bit overly generous. Now, we have got the Knight of Swords in reverse. So don't be hasty about something. This is warning against haste. It's on top of the Two of Pentacles. So a decision you might be making. Now, that could be as a consequence of this Seven of Swords and the Six of Pentacles, and I was just talking about. It's under the Two of Pentacles and your religious belief. So it could be to do with making a decision, say, of leaving a marriage. Because I'm getting here this sense of this Ten of Coins and this Hermit reflecting on what's important to you in your home life. Is your home life well balanced and well organized, or do you only see yourself as somebody who's independent and carrying all the load, or do you see yourself as part of a family situation where you're a happy contributor to the family situation? Because there's a possibility that you make a rash decision to leave something because you're feeling out of balance and out of sorts, but it may be because it's under this Mentor card, this religious thing. Perhaps I'm getting the sense that you may be wishing to walk away into something more I'm going to use the word here, more passionate. So this could be, this could also be an affair. So you may have started an affair and, wanting to cut away from a marriage. So that's possible as well. But it's asking you not to be rash and to consider not only your religious beliefs, but the value of your home and where you are at the moment. So all of these things, as you can see, there's quite a little bit of undercurrent of instability here, but there's things you need to look at and you need to weigh up carefully, because otherwise this balance is going to be tipped up. You've got several cards here. You've got the Two of Pentacles twice. You've got the Six of Pentacles talking about balance. You've got the Three of Hearts, something that's hurt you, and now you've got this sense of perhaps even a lover or an affair coming in that is very exciting to you, and perhaps you are wanting to make this affair more long-term. But again, here we've got the Nine of Wands, and this is this heavy-going energy, so it's in the reverse. So this could be a commitment that you're already in. And here again is this Page of Wands, this young, and this card actually portrays it somewhat better. As you can see, this is more this energy of underlying passion and enthusiasm, this youthful exuberance. And I guess if you've got a lover or somebody, or you're having an affair, that would seem far more exciting than perhaps a long and tried and tested marriage. And that could be the case if you've been in a marriage a long time and it's become dull and boring. So that is all on the potential here. So, and this may be why you're having this burdens, this sense of burdens that you feel like you need to let go, and perhaps also this pain. I'm only touching on what I see. This may not apply to all of you. You'll need to listen to what I'm saying, I guess, with each individual card and see how that applies to you. But there is the potential here of an affair or a lover, and the potential to make a rash decision. But I think you need to look at your inner values, see what it is you really value. Looks like here you may even be prepared to turn that on its head, and you may even be prepared to sacrifice the stability of your home. But that's up to you to determine. I can only read what I see here on the cards. And if you were sitting here before me and I knew what your question was, I'd be much more able to focus this onto your question and who you are. Don't forget, this is a general reading. Now we've got the Five of Cups. So Five of Cups is grief, hurt, disappointment, and that could be tied into this Swords, or it could be actual grief, because it's Six of so it's quite a watery card here, and it's underneath the moon. So, that you could have gone through quite a period of grief and some tears, I think. This could be quite a few tears, I think, and those sort of emotions that sort of, when the moon comes up, it makes us review our emotional connections. So that could be part of this emotional upheaval, emotional distress, grief or loss or suffering, any one of those things. But underneath the moon, I think it could be connected with this moon energy, whereas there's this upheaval in your state of emotions. So you might be feeling a huge emotional upheaval going on at the moment, or through the month of November, and that could be caused by this Page of Wands, particularly if you're very enthusiastic, and this could be, as I said, a lover or an affair. So that could be sparking great desire in you, and perhaps looking at whatever other connection you may be in. If you are married or connected, living with someone, you may be looking at that in quite a negative light at the moment, and it might be causing you some amount of distress. But if there's been a lot of hurtful pain in the past, and a lot of disappointment and treachery and betrayal, you may well feel quite justified in making the decision to move on. You've got the Three of Wands here, so this is definitely a card of expansion and looking beyond where you are. Now, I have a feeling that was in the reverse position. I think it's sort of flipped as I've been talking about it, but I'll talk about it this in both aspects. So if it's in the upright position, I'm not quite sure. I just had the feeling it was in the reverse position and spun around. In the upright position, it's a card of looking beyond where you are now. You're very much wanting to explore something new. And again, this could be wanting to have exploration into more sexual encounters. So looking beyond where you are at the moment. Definitely an outward looking card. In the reverse aspect, there may be this sort of, you're following your desires, but being perhaps a little bit reluctant to follow your desires, or reluctant to venture out into the unknown. But it's on top of the Empress, which is a 3 card, and this is a 3 card. So the 3 cards talk about expansion. So I do feel that there's expansion here coming on the horizon for you. Now, that could be by way of a birth of a child if you find yourself pregnant, but it can also be that need to expand, that sense of wanting to almost burst out. And that's sort of what also I'm getting from the Moon card here, that sense of wanting to burst out of your emotions, out of your current situation. So ready to burst out, to birth into this new world. But there's things that need to be sorted out. So let's do an oracle card. This will be quite a long reading. For those of you who want to stay for the oracle, by all means do. It's not necessary, it's just a little bit of a bonus. But as I say, this is something you're going to have to weigh up for yourself. Nobody can do this for you except you, Aries, and whatever comes your way, and that will be dictated too by the circumstances where you've been before. Only you can make the necessary judgment call on what it is you want from life, and also how you view life. So I guess you're going to have to go within, listen to your heart, and assess that for yourself. Now, here we go, clarity. Okay, so this is trying to find some clarity through everything that you've got in front of you, and it does look quite turbulent. So perhaps you can find somebody who is a confidant, somebody that you can really trust, and maybe they can help you discuss and review everything that's coming towards you. Now, you can see it's under the moon, so I think this is secret. I think you need to have somebody that you can completely trust, and maybe you can then, discuss your future. Here's the world here. Here is it. There's the world, and here's the moon. So your secret desires, your secret hopes, you need to discuss them with somebody you can completely trust. Do not discuss them with anyone who cannot keep a secret. You need to be very, very sure that they will keep this secret, because you need a trusted confidant rather than just somebody who may end up using that information against you if you choose to take a different path. So thank you so much for watching. And here again, as you can see, this is the mermaid. So this is your emotional aspects. So being aware of where it will play out and how it affects your emotions. Very important to you, Aries. So good luck with what you've got on your plate for you. If it doesn't apply, don't make it fit. This may only be for a few people that are affected. Thank you so much for watching, Aries. Bye for now.